how is our research felt on the ground? And the society has always been asking the question, what is the impact of your research? You can do very good scholarly work, but you could also be doing impacting work.
One of the things that has been challenging for universities across the world is understanding how to measure impact and really how to document it, how to capture the impact that research has. Typically, the impacts and outputs from research are very varied and diverse, but also because there's a long lag time for most research projects between the time that the research is actually conducted and when you start to see development impacts that can be attributed to the research.
Advances in the sciences don't come rapidly. They tend to come, little by little. People make small contributions, and occasionally you have a big leap.
My colleagues at UWI are very innovative, very creative in terms of getting research done, despite the lack of funding and resources.
I think the campus has consistently produced outstanding research, and now we're really trying to connect more with our community so that they understand the value of the research and how this can bring about changes in their day-to-day lives.
The question again, are the policymakers listening? In a globalized world where we're all so interconnected, the University of the West Indies should be a repository for knowledge on all things Caribbean. You're not going to build a great research university without a great library. And therefore, I'm very, very proud, for example, that our library is the holder of the Eric Williams Memorial Collection. We now have the collection of Ian MacDonald, who has done a lot of pioneering work in agriculture and sugar.
So these are examples of unique, one-of-a-kind material that we have here. The material that really makes us distinctive in the global environment. This is an example of artwork from Carlisle Chang. This is an example, this is carnival costume designs. This one, the Goddess of Mercy from the band China. This is a diary by a cotton inspector in St. Kitts in 1920-21. So it's a handwritten manuscript that we acquired about 2 years ago. So these are the things really that would excite researchers, be they postgraduate students, be they faculty, be they persons from abroad.
With over 60,000 specimens, the University of the West Indies Zoology Museum is one of the biggest collections in the region. It contains specimens dating back to the early 20th century and covers a very wide range of animal groups. These collections have been brought together from different organisations including CABI, CAREC, and even specimens from the National Museum. And private collections such as the Norman Lamont Butterfly Collection and the Sybilletic Shell Collection have all come together to make up the thousands of specimens we have.
The herbarium is not only national in scope, but we are regional, particularly the small island states because of our size. The collection stands at well over close to 80, probably 90,000 specimens we would soon be clocking. This represents one of our oldest collections that we have. We can use this collection and all the data we can find to apply it in very real situations. Restoration ecology, habitat reconstruction, even in forensic science. We had a case of a child eating a rubber seed, and then the literature showed that there's cyanide present in rubber seed, for example.
Caribbean countries are the very few that produce fine flavor cocoa. And fine flavor cocoa goes into the gourmet chocolates of the world. We are establishing what we call the International Cocoa Innovation Center, basically to showcase all the innovations in the entire value chain, starting from production to quality management, manufacturing, and to create an incubator where we can incubate small businesses that produce chocolates of the finest quality. The other area is that we are leading an international research effort in terms of alleviating cadmium in cocoa. Now, cadmium is a heavy metal that accumulates in in cocoa and in the chocolate products that is injurious to human health. We have established research partnerships with the Stanford University, the Penn State University, the Arizona University. So we are hoping that we can leverage the expertise locally as well as with our partners to bring about the required changes in the industry.
The entire operation of seismic involves, to a large extent, some element of research. We do monitoring, which is you have to collect data, and one of the key components of doing any kind of research is the data collection. So ongoing research that we do is on earthquakes and try to understand earthquake mechanisms, where you have earthquakes, how many earthquakes you have. Other research we've been engaged in that has led results is the ongoing eruption of Montserrat. Volcano in Montserrat has been erupting since 1995. That eruption and the research that has come out of it has actually advanced science in terms of understanding of what we call dome building eruptions. And it means that in the future, when you have similar eruptions in other parts of the world, and in fact in the Caribbean, that we would be in a much better position to say what is likely to happen.
The Institute for Gender and Development Studies is committed to the goals of gender equality and equity in the society and in general. We are a research, teaching and outreach institute, which means that we attempt to create synergies between our research, what we teach, and how we reach out to the public. If engineers and architects design and build houses, then what gender analysts do is go inside those houses and buildings, and we look at the human relations, the way in which men and women, boys and girls, can and have the capacity to live productive lives.
This institute spends a lot of time and emphasis on how can we best integrate these small island states so that they can become major players at the international level. So this is really a powerful space where academics and diplomats can be trained. And we've been doing this now since 1966. I think it's important for us to focus as an institute on being relevant to the people we serve in the community. So therefore, it's not sufficient to be talking among ourselves as academics and researchers within the walls, the ivory tower walls, but actually to go outside as well. So I like to push the notion of public intellectuals.
And if we continue along this path, not only will it bring value, but it will help build this research capacity that I truly want to build. Because we can't do it alone. We don't have the funding, we don't have the numbers to do it. We've got to build partnerships to succeed. We are in an exciting time at St. Augustine.